My name is Tony Juniper. I've been working to find solutions to environmental challenges for more than 30 years. One recurrent theme that's been on the agenda time and again over that period has been our relationship with paper. This office, like millions of others around the world, absolutely runs on it. The growth in demand for paper has closely matched growth in the size of the world economy. As countries have become more developed and their citizens able to enjoy the benefits of higher levels of education and consumption, so more paper has been needed to sustain that process.
As demand has grown, however, the natural systems that sustain both life on Earth and the economy have been impacted. The symptoms of this can be seen in rising levels of climate-changing gases in the atmosphere, the loss of natural habitats, different kinds of pollution, and the depletion of key natural resources. All of this has led companies across the world to begin the journey towards more sustainable business. The idea of sustainable business is now a fundamental driver of good practice for many companies across the world, including Indonesia-based Asia Pulp and Paper.
Global demand for paper supply was initially met through the clearance of natural forests with the trees pulped to make the materials we need. But as natural forests have dwindled, so different strategies have been required to keep up with rising global demand, including the establishment of plantations like this acacia here in Indonesia. In this part of the world, trees grow very quickly indeed. These are only about 4 years old. Because of the hot tropical climate, intense sunshine and abundant fresh water, more paper can be produced here per hectare than pretty much anywhere else on Earth.
Even with more plantations, however, there is still intense pressure on natural forests. So I asked Ida Greenbury, Managing Director for Sustainability at Asia Pulp and Paper, for her views on the forward plan for the company.
No fiber from any activities linked to deforestation should be found in our paper products. In February 2013, we launched our forest conservation policy, which outlines the requirement that all our suppliers must comply. We knew that our policy is quite radical and the target is very far-reaching. We committed that we cease all natural forest conversion in our supply chain. It has been quite a challenge for us because people probably know that we have been under a lot of scrutiny and attacks probably in the last 10 years by many NGOs. Our biggest challenge basically how to make sure that our suppliers in our supply chains are in compliance with our policy. They need to protect natural forests. Not only to protect natural forests, they need to also maintain and enhance biodiversity. They need to protect human rights. They need to implement free and prior informed consent. There's so many principles that need to be adopted by our suppliers, and to actually making sure that they're actually implementing those. What kind of monitoring system that we can implement, that we can use to make sure that they are fully compliant to our policy.
Since its launch, the forest conservation policy has been recognised as a positive thing for the future of Indonesia's forests. This recognition has come from many campaigning groups, including Greenpeace, who in a report released in 2013 acknowledged that the company is indeed serious about introducing zero deforestation as a new norm for how Asia Pulp and Paper does business. Finding a way to make the landscape approach work is particularly crucial, as APP has recently committed to support the protection and restoration of 1 million hectares of rainforest across Indonesia. This will have a significant impact on areas both in and around plantation concessions in APP's supply chain, and will be carried out in partnership with a range of conservation groups and other stakeholders. One place where there has been some success in landscape-scale conservation involving several different groups is at a place called Giam Siak Kecil. This is a very special place, an area of near pristine peatland rainforest. So special is it that this extensive lowland ecosystem is recognised by the United Nations as a biosphere reserve. The fact that this area of forest is still here is down to cooperation between APP, the government of Indonesia, and the state government of Riau province. By collaborating at the scale of the landscape, the influence and expertise of each of these parties has been able to complement that of the others. It comes as a surprise to many that something so familiar and everyday as paper could have such a complex story behind it. But here in the rainforests of Indonesia, real efforts are underway to try and keep the last areas standing. If it can work here, in this complicated environment, it'll be a signal to the whole world that the journey towards sustainable business is not only possible, but that it has a positive and desirable destination.